Anomalous Idol with a Timeless Mechanical Dragonling. Not too worried about the Timeless Mechanical Dragonling, but yeah, these two is going to be tough to beat. We'll probably start with Anomalous, so my best bet's to bring in the Zephyrian Prince. Oh, it's a speed tie. That's awkward. I would really like to go first with my Wind Buffet. And I did not. Okay, not a good start. I don't actually have a decoy breaker because I don't have build turret no Amelia. This is not good. I'll go for Call Lightning, but it'll probably hurt me more than it'll hurt him because of all the dot damage. So I think I'll just go for Wild Winds for now. Okay. Okay, is there any possibility I can win this? It's not looking good. I'll just stay in and kind of bang my head up against that decoy for a minute. So I can dodge that with two of my pets. Could either go for a Dust Cloud or Deflection. I'm gonna go for Wild Winds because I'm out of time. I probably should have swapped to somebody, but I couldn't figure out who I wanted it to be. It should probably be the flyer. Nope. Nope. I'm just gonna go for big damage. If I swap I lose, so my only hope is to maybe survive here and then let the time bomb run its course. Get a Wild Winds out for some decent damage. And then yeah, it's not looking good here, but see what I can do. Let's see, 138. I do not have enough damage. Well, actually, let me see, 138 and then also 31 damage. That's 160. Yeah, I need a crit to kill him. So I'm gonna Dust Cloud. And then, do I go for Dazzling Dance? Nope. I want to do as much damage with focused beams whenever Anomalous comes in. So I'm going to start ramping it up. He does bring in Anomalous. I need Dazzling Dance to be faster than him, but I don't know if I have time to get off Dazzling Dance, so... Tricky, tricky. I'll go for a... I'll go for a Focused Beams while I still have Lightning, just for the extra tick. About to lose my flying racial. So, I'm gonna go for Dazzling Dance. I could maybe go for Focus Beams, but yeah, since he went for Corrosion, I would be slower, and that's what I was afraid he would do, so I made the right call, I think, going for the Dazzling Dance. He's gonna go for the... What on earth are you doing? Why would you not go for Poison Protocol? He's doing everything in his power to throw this game, so... Yeah, I have no idea why he would not go for Poison Protocol there. That was not the move. Okay, well, if he goes for Sandstorm and I deflection it, I'm still behind by about 7 moves, but we'll try it. Give it the old not sure I was going with that. Okay. Do I think he's gonna go for deflection? There's just no way that I get dive bomb back in time. Okay, well he used deflection there, so now I'm gonna go for it. Okay. Oh, he missed. He missed. This is looking more and more winnable. He does have Sandstorm coming back, but I can maybe deflection it. I'm still about 2 turns behind. Okay. I would really like him to miss again. Okay, he'll probably go for a sandstorm. If he doesn't, he just wins. Do I think he's? I think he's just gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for my deflection. Okay, okay, I have a chance. Deflection 2 sandstorms in a row. He didn't use deflection. All right. Is he gonna go for deflection here? Even if he does, I could still win with the crush. I'm gonna go for the. What does he do here? I'm gonna go for it. Nope, he deflected it. All right. Comes down to RNG. Do I land the high roll? Oh, we got it. How mad do you think that guy is? How do you lose with that team versus this team? That was crazy. He threw so hard by not going for Poison Protocol. Don't know what he was thinking. All right. Huge. All right, so we got Anomalous and an Idol. Kind of limits my team selection if I want a higher chance of beating him. Let's see what we got. Oh, and a decoy. Jeez. My options are very limited. Okay. Mr. Delver has a decoy breaker. He has a decent matchup versus Anomalous. If I have something decent versus the Idol. Okay, so this is decent versus the Idol. Lightning turrets. How do I feel about this team? Not amazing, but I think it can win. Of all these teams, it would be either this one or the Nightshade Sproutling. I kind of like the Nightshade Sproutling team a little better. Yeah, I like the Nightshade Sproutling better. Because I have strong damage versus the mechanical. And now I have 2 pets that are good versus Anomalous, just in case, I don't know, maybe he saves Anomalous for later. Like he did there, he brought in the... I swapped in the... Didn't I swap in the mechanical? Yes, I swapped in the mechanical, and then he just stayed in until he was dead. He didn't really try any fancy swapping or anything, so this way... If he brings in the mechanical and my Mr. Delver dies, I still have the Nightshade Sproutling. I feel like... So I feel like the Gleamhoof font's slightly better versus the Anubis has Idol because I can just soak damage and swap and like stall. But it's risky to play like a stally team versus the TMD and the Anomalous because there's just so much damage. I can't really afford to play stally. He's just going to punish me with DPS. So we got Idol, Anomalous, and a random Kunlai Runt. I don't think he liked my team, but it's also possible that he got bugged. He forfeited so fast. I mean, literally 3 seconds. Like, I don't even think he manually forfeited. I think he was just queuing for one of the continents where you can get zoned into a midnight area. And then it just teleports you out instantly at the very beginning of the battle. So I'll just play exactly the same team. I'm not going to try to hard counter what he's playing. My team will happen to do decently well against him. I'm less scared of the Kunlai Runt, I think, than the Timeless Mechanical Dragonling. I don't really need a decoy breaker if I queue into that guy, but Mr. Delver is still good versus Anomalous. Not fantastic versus the Idol. In fact, he's pretty bad. But at least I'm running Missile, so I'm not completely terrible versus the Idol. And then, yeah, he's not that good versus the Kunlai Runt. But, I mean, I think I could still win. What other teams do I have? I gotta try to figure out something else to play after this one. Because I don't like playing the same team back to back unless it's like a literal instant forfeit like that one. So he'll probably start with the Anomalous. I want to start with Mr. Delver, I suppose. Go ahead, swap him out. He could juke it by bringing in the Kunlai Runt, but he didn't. So he'll probably go for Frost Shock. I can go for a build turret. Let's see what he does. Yeah, he stays in the Kunlai Runt, goes for crit Frost Shock. Okay, so I'm guaranteed to get stunned. Who do I want to take the Deep Freeze on? That's tough, but I think it's the Snapdragon. Because if I don't get stunned, I can go for Call Lightning, and I did get stunned, so I'm sad. But that's okay. My turret's whittling him away, and he went for a slow. It's a speed tie. I'm not super excited about being the same speed as him, but I can go for a Call Darkness. It's big damage, so it's worth going for. And then, not sure if it's worth going for the blind or not. I mean, I do have a turret. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the blind. There's always a chance I win the speed tie, and I lost. Okay. It's okay. It gives me a free swap into somebody, so they can't be slowed. Missile might low end and not kill him, so... Dive. Dive is enough to kill him, so I think that's probably the play here. He's going for that slow, but he's blinded, so he can't hit me with it. So I could either hit him with Call Lightning and kill him, or I could dive. Gonna dive. That'd be unfortunate for me if he swapped, but he didn't, so... I could miss still, but no. Okay, we didn't miss, so... I got 3 pets, he has 2, which is good. But I've only taken care of his least scary pet. Don't want to go for Call Lightning. He has a magic racial to nerf it, and it'll just buff his AoE damage. If he has a Void Nova, he actually might kill my Nightshade Sproutling with pure AoE, which I'll be very sad about. But I can swap him here. And I will. It's worth it. He might juke it, but he still hasn't juked it. Okay. Do I go for a build turret? Or do I just try to whittle him down? I'm going to go for the turret. Nah. Nah, I'm going to go for a missile. I'll go for build turret, actually, if he goes for Sandstorm right away. Because now that Sandstorm is the weather, I can change it with both of these pets, and then if I go for Call Lightning, it'll buff build turret damage significantly. I kind of hope he kills me here. Don't miss. Okay, good. Mr. Delver's dead, which gives me a free swap into... I suspect the Snapdragon is the move. Now he might go for Deflection. Might go for Deflection. Which if he does, that's really not great for me. But he didn't go for it, so I land a crit, which is hugely good. And now my turret does big damage to him. There's really no reason to not go for dive because My turret is ticking away. I think he could just kill my Nightshade Sproutling. Oh, wait, what? Wait a minute. Oh, I have a win chance, actually. And it is to pass, allow him to kill my Snapdragon, and now my Nightshade Sproutling gets a 1v1. Oh, I'm so happy. That was just the only way I could possibly have won. Awesome. Yeah, he just loses. I blind him. Maybe I need a triple. It's possible I need a triple, but I have lightning, so it's possible I still kill him with a double. I think I need that triple. 1034. What is the 1034 is 300. I think I do need the triple. Dang it, I could still lose. I just needed one triple. If I get this triple, I should die. I don't think Call Lightning is enough to kill him. He's above his magic ratio, I'm fairly sure. Okay, we got the triple. I mean, I only needed one of those lashes to triple, and the first one didn't. So it came down to the wire, but we got the win. That matchup did not go that well for me. I kind of barely won that game. So we keep getting idols and sandstorm, or sorry, idols and anomalous. So, keeping the games close, but that was a little too close for my liking. Kind of like some variety, but I suspect this is the only team I'm going to be getting. So, yeah, this team would do pretty well versus him. What was that other team that I had with Mr. Delver? Delver. And how do I think it'll do versus him? So we had Mr. Delver with the Snapdragon again and a Gleamhoof Fawn. The Gleamhoof Fawn can't be stunned, but he's weak versus the humanoids, so... I'm thinking about this. The Nightshade Sproutling is just a better pet than the Gleamhoof Fawn. I think that last game wouldn't have been so close if he didn't get that 25% proc stun at the very beginning. But I don't have to deal with the proc stun with this team because I could just bring in the Gleamhoof Fawn. I'm going to play this team. It's not a hard counter, but I'm not exactly trying to hard counter. If I wanted to hard counter that guy, I could just play... well, I'll take the Q, and I'll look at the teams that would completely destroy him. So if I played like this team versus him, he has 0 chance of winning ever. Even if I miss like six attacks, he doesn't miss a single one. It's just too hard of a counter. But I suspect if I play that team versus him, he'll just run away, which I don't want. I want him to stay and play. So we got triple elemental. This is probably what I get for playing Mr. Delver twice in a row. Could be the same guy, or I could just be unlucky. But yeah, Mr. Delver's useless. I still probably should start with him because I can maybe swap him. That might not be the move. Do I just even go for damage? I'm gonna go for the build turret. It's weak damage for him, but what I suspect he's gonna do is Acid Rain and Dreadful Breath. I don't want him getting that trap out. That would be bad. So I'm going to bring in the Storm Infused Snapdragon. If I knew he was going to start with this pet, maybe, which I probably could have suspected he would, I probably should have started with the Gleamhoof Fawn. Why does he run Corrosion? It's just not the move. Well. I'm gonna go for Call Lightning, buff up my build turret, and change his weather so that if he goes for Dreadful Breath, well, I'm taking lightning ticks, but it does not do the extra damage from that. Okay. Let's go for a dive. Want to preserve my Snapdragon's HP. If he brings in the Living Sandling, I probably have to just sacrifice Mr. Delver. I don't think I have enough HP on my Gleamhoof Fawn to survive a Quicksand and a Sandstorm. But he has Power Balance. No, that's still the highest attack power, same as HP. He probably goes for Quicksand. I would go for Quicksand if I was him. I'm gonna bring in Mr. Delver because I don't think my Gleamhoof Fawn will survive a Quicksand and a Sandstorm. Okay. I guess we'll go for build turret. Okay. Maybe I save Mr. Delver for later. I don't know if it's worth it. I feel like he's gonna save Sandstorm. Let me bring in the Gleamhoof Fawn. I should survive because I take weak damage from Sandbolt and Quicksand's on cooldown. I barely survived the Sandstorm, so I'm gonna go for a Bleat. I mean, he could crit and kill me, and then the game's over. But if he doesn't, okay, I'm still alive, and I take weak damage from Sandbolt still, since I didn't Nature's Ward yet. My turret's doing absolutely nothing, but yeah, what you gonna do? Okay, I have to go for Nature's Ward. And then Quicksand probably kills me. No, it definitely kills me after I have Nature's Ward up. What's happening? Why are you so confused? You have one ability. Press it. Did I lag out? Did he lag out? Ah, what? This was a close game. I mean, maybe he's trying to get me to stay in. I don't think that's what he's doing, but all right. Mr. Delver, your time to shine. I don't think he intentionally passed there, but he did make me wonder if his internet went out. But I was not about to stay in and find out on my Gleamhoof Fawn. I would have died to that Quicksand, I think. Oh, do I go for a dive or do I go for a water jet? I'm gonna go for a dive. It hits harder. I'm pretty sure I am slower than him with Sandbolt. But now the oh no, I missed. Oh, I had a chance to win and now it's over. Maybe I shouldn't have dived. I don't know. Okay. Well, maybe I can still win. That was like bruh, that was like 800 damage that I just missed out on. Am I still faster? I am still faster. And I don't think my Gleamhoof Fawn dies to Sandstorm. We'll go for we have to, since I don't have dive anymore, because it missed. Okay, Sandstorm does not kill me, so I can go for a Bleat. I mean, it does if he crits me again. Okay, so he didn't crit, thank goodness. Should barely survive a Quicksand. Oh, but do I survive if I go for a Nature's Ward? Show Pet Journal. How much damage does it do? I really hope that Sandstorm is enough to keep me. The tooltip is. Wait, why would he not go for Quicksand? This guy's so weird. I think it might have killed me. Okay, I'm gonna go for Hoofs. Why is he not using Quicksand? It's confusing me. I missed again. I hate missing. Why did I miss that dive? I swear I could have won if it wasn't for that. Now there's just like no chance that I win at all. Yeah, maybe he's weird and just doesn't ever press quicksand. I have no idea why he's not ever pressing it. Yeah, okay, okay. Am I still faster? I am still faster. That's huge. I am faster, just barely. Come on, don't miss again. Do not miss again. We dodged the quicksand. Come on, please don't miss. You cannot miss 2 dives in a row. I will disown you. Okay. Thank goodness he's still slower than me after Sandbolt. He would just win if he just had pressed quicksand on cooldown. This guy's gameplay is completely confusing me. But also I maybe could have won if I didn't miss that first okay, 439. I go for the water jet. If I didn't miss that one dive, I think I could have won. I'm pretty sure I lose, but I don't think you should have went for that. It can't interrupt my critter and it's weak damage. And if it goes off right now, it's not really consequential. Okay, so I do die to that. May as well heal. If the trap goes off, it won't stun me and it's weak damage. I don't really want to go for Nature's Ward because it's only there's only like 2 more rounds left in the game, and it'll make me take not weak damage from his attacks. If he has Magma Wave, I actually just win because I don't get stunned by that, and he won't have enough damage to kill me. If I roll 2 high ends, I can kill him. Okay, so there's the trap. Come on, high end, high end, high end. And he didn't crit me. All right. Whew. I should have lost that. All he had to do was press his quicksand on cooldown. I don't know what he was thinking. But it shouldn't have been that close. I should have been able to dive for big damage. So mad about missing that dive, but hey, we got the win. So, less mad because I won. How are we doing on games? We got well, I didn't record that, or I did record it, but then it was taking too long for the queue to pop. So this is my first game. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 games in. We got a triple elemental. So running a mechanical is just not the move right now. I'm not going to play Mr. Delver anymore right now. Let's look for different teams. That was stressful. I need to go take a nap or something. Good job, Gleamhoof Fawn. You absolutely carried. I'm pissed off at my Snapdragon. Can't land a dive. Save his life. Not sure what to play versus that guy. I know not to play mechanicals, that's for sure. Critter would be good. Aquatic would be good, but I'm pissed off at my Snapdragon, so he's not going to be seeing any more battles tonight. He's getting benched till next X back. How about this team? Versus Anomalous, it's not great. And let's see, out of the last 20 games, I think I fought Anomalous in 19 of them, so maybe 18. I'm going to assume I just get Anomalous next game. Maybe I get the triple elementals again, but probably not. Okay, so this team would do fantastic versus what I just queued into. Would it do okay versus Anomalous? It sure would. Alright, I'll play the Gleamhoof Fawn because he was an absolute legend last game. I'm very happy with my Gleamhoof Fawn. And I can't think of anything else to queue. So I'll put myself in queue in this game with this team, and in the meantime, I'll think of something else maybe to play. Because this isn't the most exciting team ever, but I do think it'll do well versus what I have been fighting so far. I got a Decoy Breaker if I queue into the Timeless Mechanical Dragonling. Gleamhoof Fawn is fantastic versus Sandstorm Pets and versus these elementals, and he can't get stunned, and I got aquatic damage with the Pale Shell Crab. This team isn't amazingly great versus Anomalous, but I do have Sandstorm. This is probably like the worst Sandstorm Pet versus Anomalous because I deal weak damage to him, but I think I'll be okay. How about this team? I haven't played it yet. How do I feel about it versus triple elementals? I mean, both of these pets are decent versus Anomalous. They're both faster. I'd like this team a little better if I'm going into a Living Sandling. Because I have the Gleamhoof Fawn and then Bubble potentially for the Sandstorm. I think this team's a little bit of a safer bet. Oh, we got triple critters. That other team would have been better. I would have had Kovok. I'll be okay. I'll win this, but it's going to be a long, boring game. Probably start with a rabbit. I suspect very highly that he will start with a rabbit. I will start with my... Oh, a Tinder Pup, apparently. Well, I wanted to start with my Pale Shell Crab, but that's not what happened. This is actually fine. I can't really bubble versus the squirrel. I mean, I can, but it would be dumb. Let's go for a couple rushes. Oh, he's going for an adrenaline rush. Oh, but my speed boost is speed boostier. So now I'm faster. I do strong damage to him. I like this matchup. I'm gonna stay in for now. See how things go, but it's looking pretty good so far. He might go for a wood chipper. Do I want to take that on this guy? Nope. Nope. Tinder Pup. You can go take a break. I take weak damage from dots on my aquatic. I was suspecting he had wood chipper. Not only that, but I have Sandstorm to nerf all these dots. And I'm glad I went for it, because he brought in the Noble Garden Bunny to try to dodge. Oh, he might have Stench. That could be annoying. But he's probably going to be more annoyed by my Gleamhoof Fawn's healing. I could go for a bubble, but I won't, because Nut Barrage would probably... Ooh, that's going to hurt real bad. Fortunately, his attack power is low. But, yeah, that's going to do some damage. I'll go for a bleat. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. And I can always just Nature's Sword and swap back. There's just a 0% chance that this team ever loses. I just have to, like, not throw. So he's dodging. Got Sandstorm back soon. I think I'm just going to bring in my Pale Shell Crab while he has a dodge up. Throw up my bubble. He could break my bubble if he swaps into the squirrel, but that's fine. I can just Sandstorm, and that's a trade that is worth it. He should have went for Nut Barrage to break my bubble. I mean, he should press this little button right here, and then that little button right there, but... Pinch maybe kills him? Does not. Okay, well, that button works too, but... Yeah, he has no chance of beating me with his team. Not what I was hoping to queue into, but oh well. We'll bring in the Gleamhoof on, just playing it safe. He's gonna go for a burrow, that's totally fine. I'll go for a bleat. Nature's Ward. Okay. Might go for a dodge here. I could just stay in and attack until he does, though. At least for now. Okay, I'm half health. My other pets are full HP. I'll just bring in the Tinderpup. If he goes for a dodge, I'll just throw down a Magma Trap, probably. It's weak damage, but it's something I can do while he's dodging. Okay, there's the dodge. Could also just go for Magma Wave. It's a little bit of AoE on the back line, but this is a little bit more damage. Okay. Huh, maybe I should have went for a rush, because now I'm slower. Oh well, it doesn't matter. He surely goes for Burrow. I'm just 100% confident that's what he does, so... I will bring in the Pale Shell Crab. There's the Burrow. So now I can guarantee land this Sandstorm. Maybe I should have went for Pinch first. It doesn't matter. I don't have to play perfectly. I'm too far ahead for it to matter. He'll probably go for a dodge, but in case he doesn't, because he's... Yeah, there's the dodge. I'll just go for a bubble now. Nothing better to do. I don't think I'll get this same guy, but just in case I do, I'm going to play Kovok. Because he'll be much more efficient at fighting this guy, this team. I have no chance of losing, but this wasn't exactly riveting gameplay to behold. So he'll probably go for the dodge or the burrow. I'll just bring in my Gleamhoof Fawn for now. Heal up my back line, wait for his cooldowns to expire. Oh, okay, I get a free attack here. No, I just have to land one Sandstorm, so what I'm going to do is go for a Bleat. Go ahead and attack him now. There's the dodge. Okay. And now he's definitely dead. I don't really like this team very much. It's just very effective versus what I queue into a lot. I can break decoy. I can counter idols. I can counter a noob. I can counter anomalous, but it's definitely a boring team if I'm not fighting those things. What was that other team I wanted to play? I wanted to play Blazehound with Kovok. There's this team. This looks like fun. It's not going to do as well if I'm queuing into those anomalous teams, or especially if I queue into a living sandling. I'm worried about living sandling with this team. Because I don't have a bubble. I'm not completely screwed. I have a trap can always come in clutch. I can maybe swap him. I can maybe Dust Cloud, but yeah, the Gleamhoof Fawn is fantastic versus Sandstorm because I don't really have to win a lot of mind games. I can kind of just bring him in whenever I know he's about to go for big damage, and then just throw up my hot and swap to the backline. It's not great versus darkness, but versus sandstorm, it's great. Can't be stunned. I take weak damage from quicksand, which is nice. How are we doing on games? We're like 6 games in. There's this game first, right? I'll go for 1 or 2 more wins. Depending on what I queue into. Ooh. What's this team? These are cool pets. Are the queues heating up? What's it going to start with? What am I going to start with? Okay. I was worried you would start with the pulsating maggot, which is not a good matchup for my Blazehound, but Little Bling is obviously a terrible matchup for Kovok, so a little bit of a mind game there at the start, but I'd say I won it. In fact, both of these pets are awful versus Little Bling, so all he really needs to do is swap out here, and I think he could be ahead. But I got my trap down. He should clearly bring in the pulsating maggot. Yeah, well played. So I can swap him, get some free damage that is strong versus him, but he could also no, he can't juke it. It won't bring him in. Yeah, this is just a free damage here. All right, so we have the Leafy Flutterwing. I think the obvious choice is probably the Heartseeker Moth here. I want to save my Blazehound for later. Kovok does weak damage. Well, he kind of does weak damage. I'm going to bring in the Heartseeker Moth because Kovok is good versus the critter. Okay, and the trap went off anyway, so it didn't really matter what I did, but I would say I'm at a pretty good position here. Honestly, Kovok would be fine too. I think this was the right move. I'm going to go ahead and start stacking up focus beams. Okay. Yeah, that was smart. I can Dust Cloud and then either Dazzling Dance or... Okay, didn't expect that. That kind of caught me by surprise. Do I go for weak damage or do I go for Dazzling Dance? That's tricky. I'm gonna go for Focus Beams because I want my Dazzling Dance to be out as long as possible, and I intend to stay in for 1 more turn to let that inflation run out. I don't want to have Shattered Defenses on one of these 2 pets. Especially Blazehound, because he's what I intend to bring in here. Because I take weak damage from Make It Rain. Okay. Is there any reason not to go for a magma trap? I can't think of one. It's OP. Let's put it on cooldown. Okay, I'm glad that missed. Does more damage than it does healing, so I'm gonna stay in as long as he does. And then swap him out. It's free damage. I'm taking Make It Rain dot damage, but yeah, it brought in the matchup I want. We can go for some Obsidian Bites. If he swaps again, I think I will bring in Kovok this time. He's not a great cleanup pet, and the Heartseeker Moth is a fantastic cleanup pet. So I want to save his flying racial if I can. Okay, well, too bad he ran away. I feel like that was maybe the right call, though. I was pretty far ahead. I had a good matchup, I think, and I was winning a lot of mind games. It really just came down to the opener. He had a critter, so if I start with the elemental and he starts with a critter, that's not great. The only thing I have going for me is I can swap him. So I'd say I have a bit of an advantage. But since he brought in the little bling, if I brought in my beast pet, which would be strong versus that critter, that would be a really bad matchup, and I'd be behind by a turn because I would have no choice but to swap to my Blazehound to give myself a advantageous situation. So yeah, I was kind of it was good for me to start with the Blazehound though, because if he started with a critter, I could swap him out. But I think his critter was the highest health pet. Maggot. Pulsating maggot. I can't remember his breed, but he was probably the highest health pet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was higher health, no matter what breed he was, than those pets. So he could have maybe juked the swap. It was just a good start for me, and I had a pretty decent matchup. Play till I get one more win. I think I'm going to call it because this video is getting a little long. So what do I feel like playing? Were there any teams I was talking about earlier? Oh, there was a team I played with earlier that I couldn't get a win with. It was... What was that pet? The Helpful... I like this pet a bit. It's decent versus Sandstorm. It's not like insanely good, but... Okay, this team's a little better. I haven't been able to get this team a win yet. And there was one game earlier. I was so close. If I just made like one different move, I could have easily won. Or if I got better RNG. He ended up winning because he got a crit that I wasn't expecting. But I could have soaked that crit with my Ominous Flame at like 10% HP and pogged out. I didn't think about it till too late. It's not a particularly good team, but I would like to try to get it a win. It's got some good synergy. We got Scorched Earth, Scorched Earth. We got Conflagrate. We got 3 different ways to set up a bird for Conflagrate. And then Personal Inferno does double damage if they're burning. We got Foreboding Curse, which is a really cool ability. That reminds me, that's another pet I want to try to get is the Foreboding Curse. Well, Foreboding Curse. It's the Enchanted Quill is the pet I'm thinking of. For some reason, that ability is bugged in Rematch when you try to look it up, but I don't have the Enchanted Quill. Did I say Enchanted? I meant Enchanted Pen. This pet's pretty cool. He's got 305 speed, so he's faster than Anomalous. He's got a dodge. He's got Foreboding Curse, Quills. Fairly solid moveset there. And Foreboding Curse is a pretty cool ability. It's kind of like a miniature Black Claw that also applies a 25% speed debuff. It's not like meta defining, but you could definitely make plays with it. Primal Cry is 10 times better because it's AoE, and it does damage. Foreboding Curse does not actually do any damage, so you lose a turn to apply it, doing no damage. But yeah, the idea here is you got Foreboding Curse to buff Scorched Earth ticks, and also to give you a speed buff or a speed advantage. Yeah, all 3 of these pets are tier 2. Not very good, but they kind of work together pretty well, I feel like. If I'm not getting into like a super try-hard team, I could probably get some wins with it. But yeah, it's in my super fun teams. Okay, I just want to make sure the key wasn't bugged. It's in my super fun teams lineup because it's not a very competitive team. These are just teams that I play if I have like family brawler teams queuing or like newer pet battlers, and I don't want to like play super try hard teams. That last team was pretty cool. I'm not really sure how the Leafy Flutterwing fit into the team. Maybe his thinking is the Pulsating Maggot probably has undead damage. Not probably. He definitely has undead damage. He probably is running like Drain Blood, Blood Fang, and then maybe Plagued Blood. Yeah, he's probably running Plagued Blood. And so I guess he wants to cover for the weakness to aquatics. But that's yeah, that moth is a little bit of a odd choice. Flyers aren't that good in PvP. They're just like the racial's scary, but there just aren't that many flyers that have insane movesets except for like maybe Darkness Birds. They're always scary. There's a couple that are okay, but hmm, I don't know. They're just the thing is, you don't queue into aquatics very often, so I'm not too worried about having a weakness to aquatics on my team because there's only like if you look at my favorite aquatics for PvP, let's go to the end here where they are because they're all in order. We have okay, so there's the Slithershock Elver, haven't seen that in like 10 years. Tug Lasher, haven't seen him ever. Emperor Crab, haven't seen him since Mop. Snarly, yeah, you see him from time to time, but he's not that scary. You know, he's a tier 2 pet. Pale Shell Crab is probably one of the top 3 aquatic pets for PvP, but I mean, he's only 301 speed. He's not that scary. And he's weak versus Anomalous, which is the kind of pet you would want to counter because he does weak damage to magic pets. So yeah, if you want to counter Anomalous, even though he does have Bubble and Sandstorm, the fact that he has an aquatic attack is he's not that good versus Anomalous. He can give Anomalous a hard time with Sandstorm, but it's kind of about it. The Sandclaw Sunshell is a cool pet, but yeah, I mean, Call of Winter is just a little bit undertuned damage-wise. Leviathan Hatchling, love that pet, but pretty much just because he has Primal Cry. Um, the rest of his moveset's pretty lackluster. Poison Spit is underwhelming. You're almost always better off just going for tail slaps and hoping to go for high rolls. This pet looks cool. Never seen it though. I mean, he has a blind or a bubble, and then a dive. At what speed does he have? 341 speed. Okay, yeah, I could see that situationally being good, but obviously if he queues into like a super meta team like a Lost Quill, he's just going to be completely useless because he depends on going first. He's not going to be faster than a Lost Quill or Jingles. Okay, so there are some decent aquatic pets, but I just can't say that I see them very often. Um, you'll occasionally see the Coastal Bounder in a clone dance team. What happened to the queue? Where is everybody? I'm gonna go for one more win and call it because these queues are getting a little bit rough. But yeah, I mean, I love the Snapdragon. Just kidding. I'm pissed off at him still for missing that dive. What the fuck were you doing? Open your eyes. He's right in front of you. Just hit him. Still can't believe I won that game. That was close. He threw. He should have lost. I mean, I should have lost. All he had to do was just press Sandstorm and um I mean, I'm pretty sure all he had to do was press Sandstorm and Quicksand on cooldown. Maybe I'm missing a mind game that was going on, but I don't think there was one. I think I was just too low HP for to really do anything, and all he had to do was press his big damage cooldowns and win. Plus, it was a mistake for him to go for. I think it was a mistake for him to go for. Yeah, maybe it wasn't a mistake. Maybe he was too far behind and he had to go for that last magma trap. Because if it went off on my aquatic, then I wouldn't have gotten off that last attack right before he died. That water jet. Hmm. Yeah, maybe that wasn't a misplay, but he definitely misplayed with the living sandling. I feel like all that to say, the aquatics just the racial isn't that great. It happens to be decent versus like anomalous because you take weak damage from dots, but you don't like take no damage. You just take half damage. I don't know. I feel like the two pets I probably see the least are probably aquatics and then probably flyers. I feel like aquatics and flyers are probably the two. Maybe it's probably like aquatics are the least, the pet I see the least in my meta group. And then it's probably like maybe a three-way tie between dragons, flyers, and critters, but I'd say okay, yeah, no, it's probably aquatics and then dragons and then flyers in that order. I'd say aquatics are probably the rarest. Maybe dragons are actually the rarest. I mean, I play lots of aquatics, but it's only because, well, there's like two that I play a lot. I play the pale shell and the snapdragons, and it's only because they have weather abilities. There are not a whole lot of dragons with weather abilities. The ones that have them are not that great. I don't think there's any dragons with sandstorm. I could look it up. Fairly certain there are not. Oh, there is one. And he has 260 speed with a stun that you have to sacrifice your basic attack for. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's an absolutely completely useless pet for anything ever. I'm not even sure why I put him on my leveling queue, honestly. Oh, wait, no. Tail sweep is a basic attack. I'm stupid. But it's a basic attack that does more damage if he goes last, which you want to go first because you have a stun. It's pretty useless. You could run Wing Buffet and Breath with Sandstorm, I guess. I don't know. I could. That'd be a good pet actually to like as like a challenge pet to try to get wins with because he's so heavy. He does have Sandstorm, but that's about the only thing going for him. You would have to pair him with like multiple pets that can give you speed buffs, like Foreboding Curse or Foreboding Curse or Primal Cry or Dazzling Dance or Moon Dance. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh, I was getting so tired of hearing myself talk. Please take the queue. I'm so desperate for a game. I've been sitting in this queue since last year. Okay, we got a Fiendish Imp, a pet with Bubble, and then a Macabre Marionette. I feel like I'll start with the Fiendish Imp. So I should probably bring in the Silver Dragonhawk Hatchling. I could go for the Helpful Workshop bot, but I take strong damage from his basic attacks, and I don't want to depend on warning his Nethergate. So here I can just go for Flame Breath or Flamethrower, and then if he swaps me out, then that'll bring in my Ominous Flame, and I could go for like a Scorched Earth or something. It's probably worth going for the Conflagrate right away. Okay, I don't have a Decoy Breaker, but I do have strong damage versus, I mean a Bubble Breaker, but I do have strong damage versus the Swamp Croaker, so I should probably go for that right now. I feel like that is probably good. He's definitely going to go for Bubble here. What? What are you doing? Quit throwing, my guy. He can die now. Okay, well, he's going to save that Swamp Croaker for later. Pretty much the only thing that's scary about this pet is Bubble, but I do have to, I mean, Storm of Flies is taken away. Gotta save my Silver Dragonhawk Hatchling for later. That's just absolutely, yeah, that's a thing. So we're gonna bring in probably the Workshop bot. I can heal up some of that damage with Stoke the Flames, although it's weak damage to the undead. But yeah, I'm gonna go for it. That Fiendish Imp is a big problem for me. But I don't want to leave the Workshop bot in a 1v1 versus him, so yeah, I think it was good for me to bring him in. Could go for a Personal Inferno. Yeah, I think that's probably decent. Okay, he's bringing in the Swamp Croaker. Oh, that was a huge crit. That's unlucky for him. I'm sad to say, I think that's probably what's going to win me this game now. I think he was probably ahead. I mean, I think I could still totally lose, but at this point I could warning, and I think I'll dodge a lot of these attacks. That'll bring in the Ominous Flame. Yeah, I'm going to go for a warning here, and I dodged the Nether Gate. That is huge. This is going downhill for him. Now he doesn't have a way to avoid whatever I do here, which is probably going to be Scorched Earth. Yeah, I'm going to go for Scorched Earth because it's weak damage versus the Marionette, and I expect he's going to swap that imp out right away. I can save my silver... I have to save the Silver Dragon Hawk Hatchling for the... imp. He's the only one that's faster. Okay, so he's taking extra damage now from Scorched Earth with that. I think I have to stay in and burn down this Marionette as fast as possible. If I get some high rolls, he could die on the next turn. He's got some dots ticking away. Okay. Maybe I would have been better off not going for that Foreboding Curse, but it is what I chose. Do I save the Ominous Flame? I'm just going to go for a Scorched Earth and let him die. That's okay with me. He's not going to be very useful versus the imp. Okay, I'm gonna bring in the Dragonhawk Hatchling and go for a Conflagrate. I think I can kill him in 3 turns. I don't know if I can kill him in 2. I'm gonna go for that Conflagrate. I could have tried to proc my Dragon Racial, but yeah, I figured he would go for the Nethergate. Okay, let's see here. Do I go for the heal or do I go for the Personal Inferno? I think I go for the damage here. Should be okay. This needs to crit to kill him. That crit versus the Swamp Croaker just won me the game. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I won otherwise. Very close game. Yeah, I had the speed advantage at the end. Feel bad for him because I'm like 99% certain I would have lost that game if I didn't get that stun that crit there. That crit was huge because he was definitely going to go for a bubble. All right, well, queues are a little bit long and I've already got lots of games in, so I'm going to call it for there. Pretty solid sesh there. That last game was close. I think he should have won. Well played by him. There was one time I was a little confused why he didn't just go for bubble, but he should have still been able to get it off if I didn't land that beautiful crit with my helpful workshop bot. So I finally got this team a win. I'll play it again later. It's a fun team if I'm queuing into like fun teams. It's not exactly designed to compete with Anomalous and Living Sandling teams, but I got 2 weather changers, so I'm not completely screwed if I queue into weather teams. It's just they should win if they play correctly. Anywho, thanks for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. I'll see you on the next video.